impressive. We know playoffs was going to be fairly different when it came down to it all because the new patch 1.30 Ash enabled as well. We've seen Gigantti flex their muscles a little bit. We'll see if AT can do the same thing. We know OnlyGod, pretty mean. Any hero you put him on.
Pretty mean player.
You play a pretty mean player. No, he's a nice guy, really. But he can also play Widow, Ash. He can play the Xayah, which they've mostly been playing throughout the entire season. But I can imagine now, if you're going to show anything, here's the opportunity.
Yeah, it can bring out some surprises, and this would be the stage where you're most likely to see those surprises. We are going to the Night Garden, where there are, of course, these ponds where you can be knocked down for those instant kills. But for now, it doesn't like both of our teams going to be hovering over these classical 3-3 compositions, just going to be testing the waters, trying out, seeing what the other teams are presenting against them. And already, Zappis and Milky Man moving forward to scout, but Lolsish hit there first.
Only just, though. Gigantti, of course, in the green, Harry. It had to be done. Gigantti now posturing towards the point. You've got to amp it up if you're Lilbo right now, taking a fair bit of damage. Urki going fairly low as well. Point's going to unlock in about 10 seconds. You can see already Gigantti just trying to make sure they punish OnlyGod for his overstepping. Milky Man will find the first kill in A-Fox. AT with a one-man advantage right now. Main tank now gone for Gigantti.
Some great distraction play there from OnlyGod, demanding so much attention, so no one was looking at Milky Man while he got rushed upon. What we saw there while you were talking about that fight was Lilbo actually had to amp up the heals because of the amount of damage that was being taken by Team Gigantti. That meant there was no amped speed to try and force a disengage when Milky Man got into a sticky situation. And look at the disparity in ultimate charge between Milky Man and Lolsish. Milky Man's about halfway there right now, and Lolsish, he's ready to lay down a shadow at a moment's notice. He can combine that with a shadow, with a shield bash from Urki potentially to finish this fight quickly.
Here's the rally from Team Gigantti. Davin and Zerpe receive the majority of that armor. Going to be very hardy in the next fight. Lolsish has the shadow, like you said. Davin is already going to find the first kill, and Elivote. The hammer's going to get laid down. Lolsish finds two, but standing strong is Milky Man. Transcendence comes through from Team Gigantti as well as a beat from Angry Titans. There will be a grab coming through from AT, and it does find a couple of people, but a shatter from Milky Man pays Angry Titans a visit. Milky Man finding two, Zap is finding another couple more, and it's all stall tactics now for Luddy, but they do manage to acquire 50%.
Well, like Tridd said, the Milkman has delivered, managing to save all of his teammates while they were stuck inside that Graviton by laying down their shadow, stunning 3 or 4 members of Angry Titans and making sure they couldn't follow up on the investment of ultimates. And now Team Gigantti have the distinct advantage of having the Graviton Surge over OnlyGod, who of course used it in the last fight and was going to have to build up towards one of those again. They can combine it with a self-destructive Zappis.
Gigantti combo at its finest, Harry. No matter how many players you change in and out of the roster, the combo still stands true. Team Gigantti have got control of the point, of course, and a little bit of armor to boot as well. And the Transcendence comes out after Davin did use the Graviton Surge. Self-destruct got launched in as well, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. OnlyGod and Facility are going to go down with the Gigantti still in control.
Lolsish does have that Discord orb on him, so he's taking a huge amount of damage. Milky Man going deep to try and make it work. Will be given the projected barrier.
Wow, force Transcendence coming through from Team Gigantti. The hammer's going to hit the floor again, and only one person actually manages to get caught by that. It will be Elivote, but that was enough for Team Gigantti to find Lolsish and Urki in the fight, meaning Angry Titans are going to have to reset.
That was a great shadow there from Milky Man because it put so many people down on the ground, but there wasn't really the opportunity for follow-up because we saw Lolsish moving back with his shield to block them off, but that meant Lolsish didn't have the option to bring down his shield. You often see Reinhardt staggering their shield up and down to try and elongate the lifetime it has with that limited pool of HP, but because he couldn't put it down because his friends were stunned, it meant he got down to 0 and then he was just sitting, waiting to be destroyed.
Beautiful pick by Zappe. Is going to find A-Fox with the right click, meaning Angry Titans are going to have to go for another reset. We are nearing the 80% mark, Harry. So one more fight and Gigantti will take the first map.
Do they will. Facility ready to make them all incredibly resilient with a stacking armor of the rally will give a lot of extra resilience against small arms fire. But Davin and Zappe still have armor from the last rally. It doesn't really need to be used at the moment. Meanwhile, Angry Titans, they're sitting on almost 6 ultimates, Jack. It's going to be incredibly hard for them to try and withstand this aggression.
5% before OnlyGod gets another ult, and that'll be 5 for AT. They're going to need to do something now. The shadow was good. The bubbles were better, though. Milky Man's going to be more than okay, but the self-destruct was launched on top of their head, on top of the grab. Elivote finds 3. Lolsish will find another. Angry Titans now are going to resume control.
They have, but they invested so heavily to do it, Jaws. They do use 5 ultimates to make that work. Bloody Sandbar is the only thing remaining in the tank for Angry Titans. Meanwhile, Team Gigantti are slowly building up once again towards all 3 of their tank ultimates and a sound barrier. And I've got to say, Zuppe, perfect timing on that Transcendence, managed to save himself not only from a shatter, but his team from a follow-up damage, and that forced OWC to have to use a Graviton in order to try and secure that fight. There was no other choice. We're now in last fight territory. Everything needs to be invested.
Grab gets thrown in. Team Gigantti marching forward. Self-destruct in the middle. Doesn't quite find anybody, but Milky Man earned himself a shatter in that fight as well. Logstish and Elivo already dead. Hey, Fox, you got a 1v5. Milky Man almost gets spoofed off, but not today, unfortunately. 18 now. Desperation plays are going to have to be made, but Facility has the rally and Milky Man has the shatter.
Luddy keeping overtime in session, but it's going to take a while for tanks to commute back.
First stage done and dusted. Team Gigantti find the first map on Lijiang.
100 to 88. Close, Jaws. Close indeed. We'll have to see where we're going next. If we go over to Control Center, we likely will see this 3-3 again. There it is, Control Center on your screens. 3-3 usually is sort of the flavor of the month right here. We have seen tanks so often on this map, regardless of what meta we've been in, because these chokes are so good for bringing up those Reinhardt shields, for laying down spam from your Zarya with the mortars. It may well go the same way. Angry Titans need to have adapted to the way that Gigantti is playing. It's been so long. They likely have been scrimming together for a while, so we'll have to see if they will have got any huge value out of that regarding the playstyle of Team Gigantti and how they can turn this around.
I'm curious if we are going to actually see Mei on this map. It is possible. We saw Angry Titans play a little bit yesterday. And Gigantti as well, in fact, I believe. Luddy. Got to be a little bit more careful than that. That was a nice headshot. Just weaved it through everybody. Zuppe finding the first blood of the map. That'll be Erky backing off as well. The entirety of Angry Titans yet donating their health bars to Gigantti's ultimate bank now. Thank you very much. You might want to stagger the baby Diva though. Elivo does end up going down. Monkey Mind found his 5th kill of that entire fight and ended up nearing 70% as they do manage to gap.
Oliver was trying to calculate risk versus reward. He wanted to get on top of that pylon so we could lay down damage on Milky Man over the top of his shield and force him to have to reposition where his shield was if he wanted to stay protected from that incoming sound damage. But while he was up there, like we saw, Zuppe was just like, oh, some free headshots. I'm going to farm all of that up, and that was an early pick.
Facility had himself a rally in the first fight. Claims one victim in Lowsish. Angry Titans having to be a little bit more careful. Luddy actually gets booped out, so a little bit more ult charge going towards Team Gigantti, and in fact a D-Mech as well. We'll see if they do want to end his life. They do. Zappers puts him out of his misery with a micro missile.
I would have preferred a stagger there, Jaws, but that was actually some really good timing from Resility. Wait until Elivo tried to escape using the boosters, and then he used his shield bash because he knew that that would cease the boosters, cease the momentum, put them on cooldown, and then there was no way that Elivo was going to be able to escape that over a huge amount of ult charge in his attempts to do so.
Zappers is 10% away from the self-destruct, and Davin already has the grab. Logstish's shield's going fairly low. He's going to have to recharge that before Milky Man shatters him. The Graviton goes in. It's not eaten. Self-destruct launched up. Shield removed. Transcendence coming out. Luddy is not going to be saved this time. And a beautiful shatter from Milky Man once again, laying 4 members just flat on their feet. And that will be Team Gigantti finding another team fight.
And that's heartbreaking for Angry Titans. They invested 2 ultimates in that fight, including 2 support ultimates for Transcendence and the rally to try and survive through the onslaught that Team Gigantti proffered towards them. But now Team Gigantti, they're all out of major offensive tools. It's mostly going to be vanilla play to try and win out over OWC now, who has ready to go the Graviton Surge. Question is, are they going to wait for Elivo to build up towards that self-destruct to combine with it, and can Lolsish remain in a position where he can charge away Milky Man's shield to ensure the efficacy of that combination?
Well, Gigantti do have 2 support ultimates online, 3 now as the rally comes through. Angry Titans have that shatter. They've got 4 ultimates online. They're going to need to do something. Self-destruct launched up. Removal of the shield is good as Milky Man ends up going down. Mid getting charged. Lolsish falling fairly low as Gigantti forced themselves to use that sound barrier to keep them in the fight. They managed to find Elivo's mech in the chaos of it all, but Angry Titans have a sound barrier of their own.
Oh, but they don't have protection.
What was that? Out of nowhere, no need for the Rhine as Davin launches his grab in. A self-destruct for the 3K, and Team Gigantti off to a flying start.
That right there wasn't a self-destruct, it was a victory firework. Nothing could defend Angry Titans from what Zappis was showing right there. And well, 2-0. That's a little bit more dominant than we were expecting, but the first round was rather close. So Angry Titans, of course, are going to have a little bit of a break, a little bit of a talk. What are we going to do, guys? How are we going to play against what is essentially the leveled up Milky Man? What's above a Milky Man? A Milky Beast?
Yeah, I was going to say Milky Werewolf, but I guess that doesn't make sense. I don't know if that's an actual upgrade. I don't actually know, but just let me know. But we're going to jump to a quick break, guys. You can Google that, actually, and we'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 2 coming up very soon, but Team Gigantti already out the gate with a 2-0 on Lijiang Tower. Hybrid will be our next map choice, and if you didn't watch yesterday, or you can't think that far back, both squads coming up right now had a full hold on Hollywood.
So that means that there's VODs for both of these teams to have studied, but of course, with our gauntlet nature of the playoffs, the question is, will they have had enough time? We did know Opti's document, of course, came up yesterday, and we are going to go to Numbani. Evidently, it seems like...
Up today. No first point hold,
Angry
please.
Titans had a look at Gigantti's VOD, and they were like, you know what? We're gonna have a heavy pass on that one, Jaws. A heavy pass. Instead, we're heading over to Numbani.
All right. Hear me out, mate, okay?
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Angry Titans coming out with... Well, they're on offense now, okay. Or Gigantti, to be fair. Triple DPS. We've seen Farah a little bit on this map over the last few weeks.
We have.
From people on people like Shoes from Shoes Money Crew. We've seen Ash come out over the playoffs. I'm thinking triple DPS up on the high ground. Bob can contest the point. Maybe quad DPS, because Bob counts as DPS.
Well, Zappis is one of the more flexible flex tank players, as it were. He does have a huge amount of both supports and DPS in his repertoire, and we do know his ability to be a pretty mean Farah as far as Farahs go, but we're going to have to see if Angry Titans or Team Gigantti want to swap it up. For now, does it like... Gigantti don't really have a reason to swap off a 3-3 at the moment. They proved some superiority in the straight 3-3 battle on Lijiang Tower, so they've got the onus is on Angry Titans here to really try and swap it up, to catch them off guard or change their playstyle in a way that Team Gigantti have not yet accounted for.
I'm just talking about flexing on them, mate. AT will take the high ground on the left-hand side. Milky-Man forced to jump to the point.
Good
nice
move.
move, actually, from AT. Oh, Subway! A-Fox didn't even touch the floor, mate. You've got to be a little bit more careful. Oh. Milky-Man too, though, as Lolsish ends up taking his life. Lilbo doing a lot of work against the Reinhardt, though. Uh-oh, you're going to have to back out rather shortly, though. Angry Titans do have a spawn advantage, of course, being on the offense, but Gigantti willing to chase them fairly far out here, actually past the bus.
Lilbo there got a perfect boot, just as Lolsish was about to connect to a final swing, which should have ended his life, because of course their swings deal 75 damage each, but managed to put Lolsish just out of swinging range, saving his own life. Of course, Milky-Man was a victim, but with the equidistant spawns of Numbani, a quick charge has got him back into the frame. There he is, joining everyone up on the high ground. Question is, will Lilbo again get one of those cool boops that we saw, which put A-Fox on the low ground and gave a distinct disadvantage to the way Angry Titans were planning their attack?
Speaking about planning, Angry Titans maybe second thinking this. I think they used the speed boost. They're waiting for it to actually come back up. There's the boop off. They're just looking for now. You can see Elivo actually burning the thrusters and the micro missiles, expecting to see a Lucio somewhere. They do not. Gigantti still hold the point. Zappe with the first ultimate for Gigantti in the Transcendence, but Lolsish does have a shadow.
Waiting for Elivo to get those boosters back on cooldown. Lolsish going to try and make the engagement. There's a speed boost and everyone's rushing in. That's going to be answered with a Transcendence, Jaws.
Wow, forced Transcendence actually from both sides. 2 rallies being thrown out as well. Only got 2% away now from Graviton Surge. Lolsish lays down the hammer. Milky-Man is going to be the first recipient of all that damage. Zappis is going to fall as well. No more ultimates required. Team Gigantti fleeing. Angry Titans are going to be able to cut the first point.
I love seeing Luddy there just escorting Lolsish around with a speed boost, ensuring that no one could get away from the DPS. Because you knew that if Lolsish had just invested that Earth Shadow, but not only did Lolsish need the speed boost to go and try and capitalize on the stun targets, but also he needed to have the most possible DPS to start building up towards the next one. He doesn't want to have such a huge disadvantage compared to Milky-Man as Milky-Man builds up towards that first Shadow, because while Milky-Man has this available, Lolsish has to be a lot more cautious.
50% though towards that shadow. They can throw that grab in, they can earn themselves another one. Easy game. Milky-Man holding this corner. Got to at this point. Even grab potentially. Didn't hear it and it's not in the back line, that is for sure. Nice boop in on Milky-Man to try and make sure he goes down rather quickly. Self-destruct is going to get launched in the air for Team Gigantti. Zap's not finding anybody though, and actually Angry Titans throwing out their own Transcendence. Elivo going extremely low, but he is going to get saved by the beat, and another Transcendence, but this time it's on Team Gigantti's. A self-destruct thrown out by Angry Titans is going to get all blocked, but that definitely isn't. Milky-Man had his shield up in the air, but a beautiful boop coming through from Lilbo to force Angry Titans back.
Only God's got all this energy and all this health. Is going to start carving through, trying to be getting another one of those Graviton Surges.
But Davin's only 10% away, but he's already dead. Only God claims his life, and it is now all in Angry Titans' hands. Just need to force Milky-Man to a position he doesn't want to be, and that was exactly what they did. Lolsish goes extremely low in the front line, but a swift flame strike will kill Zappe off. Luddy and AFox find the last couple of kills, and Angry Titans finally get around the corner.
Somewhere in that fight, there was a beautiful boop onto Milky Man as he was casting his Earth Shadow, and it meant he basically just threw it into a wall because he couldn't really turn it in a place where it would be affecting Angry Titans. So that was some great management of Team Gigantti's resources by Angry Titans. Some great mitigation of the potential dangers. Now you can see they're claiming as much space as possible, but it does mean if they're split up, that Team Gigantti can try and bisect them with a speed boost dropping off the high ground. You can see Angry Titans are regrouping. They're turtling up. They don't want to be bisected. They don't want to be split up, but the engagement has to come from Gigantti now.
Oh, there's the Transcendence. Both grabs actually thrown out with both Transcendences too. Zaps his bomb, doesn't find anybody. Can't connect through the shield of Team Angry Titans. Losich still has that shadow, and they could combine it with the bomb. Self-destruct comes out. Milky Man's already on the floor. That beat comes through though, and Zappis and Zoppe managed to find Onigod and Urki, and now Milky Man cleaning the rest of Angry Titans up. 2 meters away from second point. Gigantti managed to hold.
That was a perfectly timed save from Lilbo there, laying down that sand barrier gave Milky Man enough help to sustain himself through Elivote's self-destruct when he was stunned on the floor. He had no way of defending himself. It was down to Davin and Lilbo to present those shields that would save their main tank, because we all know the second you lose your main tank in these 3-3 versus 3-3 matchups, that's when everything starts going downhill. And when you lose a fight so cleanly in these compositions, you give over so much ult charge, as exemplified here by Milky Man. Ready to lay down the shadow. He needs to combine here with Vigility. Can Vigility get a little bit of a sneaky bash in?
Rally coming out from Urki, propels him forward. Vigility's already dead. Beat from AT as well, as they do surge on forward with the rally in tow. However, reactionary play from Team Gigantti as Davin has that Graviton surge. Zoppe uses the Transcendence to put them on the point. Only 4 meters remain, and Onigod is so close to his own Graviton surge. Milky Man and Lilbo are dead. Graviton surge comes in, but the shield protects the entirety of AT, apart from Luddy, who is just off in no man's land apparently. Zappis is going to be the last one to die on part. AT throws out the shadow. A victory won as Vigility goes down. AFox cleans them up, and they manage to cap second.
You'll call it a victory, Shadow Jaws. I'm going to call it a wasted one. Losich laid that down, and it's not exactly the most healthy time bank that Angry Titans have. 2 minutes and 15 seconds stand between them and the end of their attacking round on Numbani. Team Gigantti are not overly close to the Earth Shadow, it's true, so both of our Reinhardts are going to be feeling rather free to do what they wish, but they're not going to be free inside that Graviton surge.
From downtown, Onigod launching it in. The self-destruct does absolutely nothing, but Milky Man's shield is now dead. Milky Man goes down as Luddy pushes forward, but a beat coming out from and Gigantti will make sure they stay in the fight. Almost lost my words a little bit there as Onigod almost loses his life. Losis is going to go down as well as Zappis turns this one around with a double kill onto Onigod. Gigantti continue to hold, even though every fight it seems they lose their main tank.
Here they do. Vigility there got an awesome boop onto Elivo and another. They're making sure that he has as long as possible to commute to that edge so that he can run off and have to get his mech back. He can't go back to spawn and remech here, because not only is he so far away from it, but he didn't want to give up the opportunity for that self-destruct, which he can once again try to combine with Lolsich's Earth Shadow. So here, your main players to watch: Lolsich, Urki, and then Elivo. The cherry on the cake, Jaws. He needs to add that self-destruct on top of a successful Shadow.
Angry Titans have got the Gigantti combo. They need to throw it in. Zappe does have the Transcendence. You can see how far he's actually holding back. Wants to stay safe. Graviton comes in. It's going to get eaten all up. Davin, even with his own Graviton surge coming in, but once again, the beat straight into the bomb. Thank you very much, Angry Titans. Elivote cleans up 3 and Urki cleans up the next, and now is Gigantti with all the ults in the world to throw them onto the point as they do approach the final cap.
Well, they got some resources, but they're going to need speed right now. Lilbo's going to be leading the way on those skates, and Angry Titans making a bit of a disengagement here. They know how many resources Team Gigantti are willing to pour into this last fight. Only 30 seconds remain on the clock. Ideally, Angry Titans want to complete this before that reaches overtime, and there's the Graviton surge. 2 of them, Jaws.
Self-destruct on top as well. Blocked by Lossis' shield, and AFox keeps the rest of the team alive. A shadow from Milky Man is going to get met with Angry Titans coming out with the beat. Still alive at AT on the point, but Gigantti do have the priority spawns.
Thought he was doing his best Tarzan impression, sneaking up into the trees and laying down the beat from above.
Perfect personal shield from Davin there to keep himself upright. A right-click launched at Losich, and he ends up going down. OT is now in session, and Gigantti with the last final beat will make sure they hold Angry Titans at second.
That they will. Oh, it's some great clutch factor here out of Team Gigantti. I feel like their target prioritization is absolutely impeccable. And one time when we really saw that was when Davin was coming around the bend towards third point, got taken solo, used his personal barrier to 7s of him. We saw Zappis basically all in on to Davin. Zappis all-in onto Davin? No, he all-in onto Onigod. He made sure that he could actually kill him with the booster damage. He got so low trying to retreat that Zappis had to invest all of his movement cooldowns in securing that kill. But Team Gigantti knew that that was entirely worth it.
Only a couple of meters at the very end there. They were so close to capping that third point, but only 2 are on the board. Angry Titans turn to defend. Gigantti, they just need a simple completion, Harry, in order to find themselves the next point on the board. Remember, it's first to 4 map wins as well.
Currently showing Davin on the Orisa. Now, you may think, nah, this could never be a real comp because Davin doesn't play Orisa. Davin does play Orisa, infamously last season on Volskaya Industries with a composition that never worked.
No. The double shield comp, it was kind of strange.
Yeah, the double shield comp was interesting, but they're just teasing me. They're giving me Season 2 flashbacks, and that's all that they need. But Angry Titans, we're a little bit more serious about this, Jaws. Urki on the Bastion. Onigod, well, we talked about how he's a pretty mean anything. Now he's going to be a pretty mean Ashe, bringing out Bob as well. Of course, when you have Bob, it does mean that you can rotate Bob and Elivote when you're trying to contest a point, because presumably we're going to see Lolsish and Urki on the high ground, and Lolsish won't want to have to move with the Orisa, because the commute back to high ground is so laborious for the Omnic.
Bloody is going to be able to damage boost both Urki and Onigod as well, so that's pretty nice. Double main heal 2 in AFox with the Ana. So we're seeing a little bit more of over the last couple of weeks. Facility running out on his own though. Double shield comp coming through from Team Gigantti. Facility is going to get matched with Urki though. You've got to be careful, but that's a lot of shielding in order to protect
charge
him.
for Onigod.
Oh boy, Onigod doing a good job thus far, but Urki is actually somehow dead. They're going to be able to res him, of course, as Luddy is on the Mercy, but now Facility has got so much time to set up. Zappe actually finds another kill in Onigod as well. They can now just freely move on to the point. Elivo's mechs are already dead, and Team Gigantti with the first push potential cap.
Yeah, that was clean and clinical. Urki there just got caught out so many times. It was like him and Luddy had to reset off the edge. And once Elivo actually tried to make a peel there and knock away Zappis mech on mech, it did mean that he didn't have that cooldown available to get away from the minigun presented by Facility, just like here. But this time, Elivo did use those boosters to escape rather than making engage and trying to contest for points. So now Facility, he can either change or he can set up on the card. Looks like it's going to change likely over to the Brigitte, because Angry Titans aren't going to be showing off the 3-3 in the face of, or rather, both our teams going to be showing off 3-3.
Yeah, unfortunately no more Bastions, no more Ashe. It was only for the first point. Sorry to disappoint you guys. Lilbo is going to find the first ultimate for Team Gigantti though, in that sound barrier. In fact, first ultimate of the game as well. Angry Titans now going to play with a little bit of fear in their hearts. Nice charge though coming through from AT. They do manage to pin Milky Man, take him out first up yet again, but Gigantti, if history repeats itself, mate, they might just be able to take this fight regardless of their main tank being alive or not. Davin making mean work of Lolsish's shield, but playing safe for the time being. They know how quickly their spawns are going to come back. Lilbo dives a little bit too deep and pays the price as AFox finds the kill.
Throwing in those mortars at the moment is all Davin has to do as well as stay alive. Oh, the attempt to the Earth Shadow, 3 down!
3 down, but a Transcendence keeping them alive. A self-destruct just thrown in, but you've got no shield, I'm afraid. Self-destruct narrowly, almost killing Angry Titans, but they managed to cower behind the cart. Another grab gets thrown in by AT, but thank you very much to Zappis. Eats it all up, and a Transcendence as well to come through for Team Gigantti. AT laying down the beat, and they still have Lolsish's Shatter to work with.
Desperate sand barriers, desperate measures, and desperate times for Angry Titans. Lolsish is going to come back, he's going to rejoin the fray. He has the advantage on the Earth Shadow, but only for a few seconds as Milky Man creeps ever closer and attempts at a flank from AFox to get the pick, but it's not going to work out.
Oh, Hammer absorbed by the shield, and Milky Man now he's got his own shatter. Elivo sends the mech up. Hammer comes down, only one hitting the floor, and that is Elivo. Milky Man's dead yet again as AFox finds the kill and instantly activates that Transcendence that he earned. AT now in a prime advantage. They got the main tank, they got the damage. Onigod actually throws the Graviton Surge in. They're not going to need the bomb, even though Ellivo doesn't even have it. And in fact, they sacrifice his own mech. They're trading one apiece here. And in fact, Gigantti, they're actually coming out on top. A Graviton Surge once again thrown in, knowing AFox doesn't have the trance. And Little Bo finds the kill into OniGod.
Even when you invest into a fight that looks won with a Graviton Surge, just still not winning it. What is happening to Angry Titans at the moment? Gigantti are just so resilient. Oh, come on, guys. You've got to actually move that cart forward. There we go. The second point has been claimed. And look at that time bank. 4 minutes, 32 seconds, and 67.4 meters stand between Team Gigantti and the 2-0 as we move into our first break.
AT, what is happening right now? They've got no ults. Losish is only 20% away though, but look, Gigantti just making the moves first. Facility's dead as OniGod finds the kill, just surges forward, and now you can see a Transcendence coming through from AFox. Healing advantage for Angry Titans as Team Gigantti end up dropping back.
Oh, Milky Man can be caught out here. He's very low, trying for the charge. Will he be hunted down is the question. Does look like Luddy's going to try for it, but oh, they're going to round upon him. Got to get out of there. Skate like you mean it, my dude.
He's hippity-hoppity and get off Gigantti's property right now. AT, they do have the shatter, yes. They do have the rally, yes, but Gigantti, they don't really care about your ults, apparently. They've got the shatter coming online in 20%, and Little Bo's got the beat.
Gigantti can take an economy fight if they wish to. Little Bo, like you said, he's got the beat, he can match Luddy, but of course Angry Titans have more offensive capability right now to try and make it work. We're going to be looking over at Urki to try and lay down a stun on Milky Man so that all the rest of the stuns can be delivered by Lolsish.
Milky Man getting in a nice position behind the cart, make sure he can spot Urki if he wants to come back for a shield bash. Urki activating the rally as well, signals Angry Titans to almost have a complete bank of ultimates. AFox nearing his as well. Lil Bo's only got that beat though, Davin 15% away from the grab.
You look at Milky Man's shield positioning though, everyone's exposed to Lolsh's shatter if he decides to take it. Zappis going to be peeking in and out of the shield here as potentially...
Oh, another
There's so many!
Zappis finds the second eat and grab, but 2 are already dead. Facility and Davin go down, but they still take out a key tank ult from Angry Titans.
Zappis just eats so many of these grabs, man. It's just insane how much he has for read on. OniGod and Angry Titans only had to use the Graviton and the Rally to win that fight. They still have 4 ultimates, and not only that, the Rally hasn't even dissipated yet. OniGod and AFox still have all the armor that they could want. But what I really like to see here is how Lil Bo sticks alongside Milky Man, making sure to always get these boops on Urki, trying to ensure that if Urki does go for that shield bash, he may not reach his destination.
Half that 4.5 minute time bank is already gone, Harry. Angry Titans lay down the shadow, but Lolsish actually gets stunned up. He's going to try and charge away from the bomb. Davin, not quite so lucky as AnyVote chucks his in. OniGod almost having another ultimate available though, 30% away, but 2 minutes now on the board for Gigantti. They've thrown in the Transcendence, but not much else. 4 ultimates remain, however.
2 major ultimates traded for the Transcendence, and well, Angry Titans are going to have 2 to defend themselves as well from the incoming onslaught of Team Gigantti. Zappis quickly building up towards that self-destruct. Look at the aggression here from Angry Titans. They're furious, Jules.
Gigantti and AT laid down the beat, laying down the shatter as well. 5-man pin against the wall. Urki's dead. Lolsish is gone as well, and now Team Gigantti can finally get this payload moving.
Now they can. They're going to be rushing onto it, and Lil Bo, he's thirsty for blood, Jules. He's looking over to the retreating members of Angry Titans, so we're going to regroup, but not all lost for Angry Titans here. OniGod has yet another Graviton Surge available. Question is, can Zappis eat it? He's been doing so very well thus far. He does have OniGod's number. OniGod needs to change up his tactics here and outsmart the Finn.
Zappis tried to run towards AFox and actually forced him to use the trance, and now it can't get in. The Diva's not there. A Transcendence will keep him alive inside that grab, and Facility actually going down for Team Gigantti is a loss of healing for them that I'm not sure they want to be able to deal with. They still have a minute remaining as Lolsish finds the kill on Milky Man and cleans the rest of the team up.
Lil Bo there got incredibly aggressive, punished when he tried to wrap around and make that attempt to boop Lolsish into the midst of his team, but he got caught out very easily, got stunned, got slowed, got booped around, and well, he got chased down super easily there by Elivo. So now it's possibly last fight territory, Jaws, for either team. Angry Titans going to be desperate to hold here and bring the series up to 1-1. Lolsish going to try and make it happen with that Earth Shadow. Of course, Elivo can combine that with the self-destruct. It's been a very effective combo thus far, but Team Gigantti are only moments away from being able to do the same with the aid of a Graviton Surge as well.
Elivo has to be able to eat it. He sends a self-destruct in first. Nice shadow to stop all that damage going down. Urki might just go down too, but no, Luddy's going to boot him away. Lolsish dead, yes, and he still has the shadow, but he might be able to come back in time. Angry Titan's still moving forward as Davin just tries to bait out the grab. He throws it in and manages to connect it. Zappis throws in self-destruct as well and finds 3 kills. Elivo's Meg goes down as well. Desperation shadow from Losish, but the rest of his team are already dead. Team Gigantti will end Numbani 2-0 in the series. This is looking so uncharacteristic of AT.
Much closer than they would have liked, though. AT holding strong on that third and final point by using aggression to their advantage. They got caught out on that final aggressive push. They're like, okay, we're going to go in early. We're going to strike while the iron is hot. Going to try and open this up with the self-destruct and then the aggression of the Reinhardt. But Milky Man read them like a book. Laid down 3. There was no way to follow up on that aggression because everyone was stunned up. So Milky Man reading Angry Titans, sort of a tale of these two maps.
Yeah, Zappis has been really only got as well. 2 Graviton Surges eaten, and with that, Gigantti sitting on a 2-0. It's looking pretty good. We're going to jump over to the desk, though. They're going to break down those 2 games a little bit more. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 3 coming up very soon. Angry Titans and Gigantti. This is looking fairly reminiscent of Season 1, where Gigantti clean swept Angry Titans to actually make it to the finals.
Yeah, will history repeat itself is the question. We're going to be heading to Assault now, and of course it will once again be the pick of Angry Titans as to where we go. We have a choice of either Horizon Lunar Colony or Hanamura. And I wonder if we're going to see any sort of wacky defenses like we saw on Numbani, which failed utterly, but maybe with different circumstances we could see something else. We'll have to see where they are going to take us today.
Well, Hanamura, we've seen a whole lot of Doomfist and Sombra. Horizon will be the map, of course, though, and this is actually a map in playoffs especially has been favouring the Ashe. It has been this like treehouse comp with Orisa just setting up the Ashe, and in fact what I called the boosted comp the other day, and with the Mercy damage boosting both the Pharah and the Ashe, and therefore just kind of taking control of the entirety of the choke point and then being able to just Bob relatively quickly. Ashe hits a couple of headshots of damage boosts, you're getting Bob online almost every fight.
And you got the boost coming through as well from the Discord Orb of Zenyatta, and that sort of also dictated a lot of the Overwatch League meta for a long time, being able to run both Mercy with her powerful resurrections and damage boost and Zenyatta meant that having players like, or rather characters like Widowmaker was incredibly potent because you could do so much damage on a per shot basis, whether it was head or body shots. You could very much put people on notice, make sure they are very, very scared about peeking out against any of these long range hit scam. But for now, it will be Team Gigantti starting off with the defense, and I spy with my little eye jaws, her Doomfist.
Facility on Doom, Davin on Sombra. Another composition that's been favoured very heavily on the defense. Facility just sits up on the top right-hand side. If you're looking at the attacker spawn, drops on down with that seismic slam and can get away with that rocket punch rather easy. Remember, this isn't the patch with the Doomfist nerfs either.
Neither is. People will be losing air control when they get slammed or uppercut, so not so easy to escape here, especially if you're only gold with a lack of mobility. He does, however, have that flashbang to try and use that on Facility, but Aafox is going to be the first victim here.
Oh my goodness, and now it's pretty easy for Facility just to right-click people or left-click people. Doesn't matter which one he does. Elivo is going to get possibly staggered here into space. Nice little team kill there from Team Gigantti. Zappe found the first kill, and actually he's got 70% towards the Nano already, and more often than not, we are seeing the Nano Boost land onto Facility, especially onto a Doomfist. It honestly feels like you one-shot even a Winston.
Yeah, that was the tactic on Hanamura for Team Gigantti, and when you get hit with all of those hand cannon pellets, it does do 132 damage. So that's a lot of damage that you're going to take if you're only got just eating one of those to the face. Angry Titans have been quickly repelled here. We're going to have to try again. Voltish and Elevate may need to buy a little bit more space here. There is the Facility Nano.
There's the Nano, and actually a Bio Grenade did land on a couple of people from AT as well. D-Mech on Elivote. Davin's going to find that. 60% now as well towards that EMP. Can pepper people in there, but Angry Titans have to be a little bit more careful now. They haven't got the mech.
Solid disengagement there. No Nano Boost now to be seen. Milky Man needs to get topped up before he can make that engagement as well. Zap's actually going to be body blocking those heals to get healed up himself. And Davin here slowly building up towards EMP, less quickly than we would like. There's Facility engaging and caught out just as quickly by the flashbang and the shield bash.
That is exactly what Angry Titans wanted to do. They knew Facility was going to run the Doomfist. As soon as he jumps in, Only God steps back. Flashbang into a couple of headshots. Bloody is going to go down. Actually, a Transcendence from Littlebo. That will go through the Transcendence. Unfortunately, Milky Man's going to have to hide for a little bit longer. Oh, Littlebo! What are you doing? You knew the Transcendence was going to run out. Only God finds one with the ultimate, and actually a self-destruct onto the point from Team Gigantti forces Angry Titans back. Both rallies have been used, and Milky Man using his Primal Rage actually gets taken out by Aafox, but Davin using that time to take him out as well and wipe him off the face of him.
Trading both ways, reinforcements will be coming through. It's going to be Vigility with a nano boost, but he didn't land his abilities, and his punch got cancelled by the shield bash.
Now he's just walking to the spawn of Angry Titans, potentially not where you wanted to go. He actually received a little bit of healing there from the Ana, and there is a mega health pack on the bottom right-hand side. Got to be careful. 14 HP. Luddy's able to secure the kill, and now Team Gigantti, they're going to have to play scared as they are down a man.
Well, Team Gigantti are also going to have the offensive power of the EMPs to try and deal with this incoming assault. Zampus is contesting for now, and only goes in the back with the Tracer, laying down Pulse Pistol bullets into the back of that mech. It does look like it could be clean here, Jaws, for Angry Titans.
Does seem so. Vigility isolating himself so early on, and only got rushing back on that Tracer after he got killed on the McCree. Easy cap for AT. That 1 minute can turn into something a little bit more juicy. Angry Titan, Team Gigantti even now are going to change up. Davin changing away from Sombra, going to jump on to the Zaya.
Only got away from the Tracer as well to the McCree, and then to the Zaya. Is going to be a little bit of a mirror there. We are going to see this sort of like more vertically potent dive or 3-3 coming through from both Team Gigantti and Angry Titans, but the crucial mix-up here is that there's no Lucio on the side of Team Gigantti. Instead, they're opting for the long-range burst healing that an Ana can provide, whereas Luddy's going to be playing on the Lucio as is classically done in the 3-3 composition.
Yep, slaps that self-destruct too. Oh, that was a nice move actually. Forcing Milky Man to disengage. Nice dirt jump straight onto the back line by Lolsish too. Has got Primal Rage, doesn't actually activate it in time. Vigility potentially stunning him up and using that whip shot to kill him. They are still going to be planting themselves on the point, but with all the firepower from Team Gigantti, it might be a fairly easy fight. Not with that beat going off though, they're going to have to force something out at least. Zap is using that self-destruct to potentially find a remake, but Vigility is already dead, and Angry Titans committing even more to this fight with the Transcendence.
Davin has a nano boost, there's Lilbo keeping everyone healed up. They haven't given away a tick right now, and they do have a greater presence on the point. Down goes the Graviton Surge, though, Jaws.
Oh, I don't know about that damage though. No damage follow-up for Team Gigantti, and Lolsish used that Primal Rage to actually survive the majority of the incoming fire, and now a Graviton Surge coming out from Gigantti, from Angry Titans as well. Luddy finds 2 people as they were just all cramped up. They found a tick already with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Now is Team Gigantti trickling onto the point.
No one's alive, no one's awake to try and get onto here. They've all been put to sleep, a reflected sleep dart maybe in this case.
Oh, only just they managed to get back with the Tracer. Littlebo jumping off of the support. A rally coming out from Vigility, and Milky Man actually changing over to the Reinhardt. Davin on the ball as well. Gets quickly dispatched with as Luddy finds the kill. Milky Man comes in with the charge, but instant Transcendence to heal Lolsish up. Nade did hit him, yes, but there was no damage follow-up to actually kill him off. 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Angry Titans, they managed to cap second point.
And there was some great pressure from Angry Titans onto Zappos when they knew that he had that the self-destruct available. They knew they didn't have the consistent shielding of a Reinhardt because they were running for Winston. And if we remember, Lolsish sort of like jumped into the back at the start, and he got shield bashed, then he got slept, and basically he got shut down so quickly. So there was a huge disadvantage for Angry Titans in that fight. They managed to brawl it out with the 5 members that they had. And I thought the second that we saw Only God use that personal barrier that he could use to protect himself from an incoming self-destruct, that we were going to see Zappis throw out that ultimate and try and catch out the Zai with limited mobility. But the second that the bubble ran out from Only God, Luddy piled on using a sound barrier onto 5 people, which isn't obviously the most efficient use, but they thought they could take advantage of the current position of Team Gigantti. They managed to force everyone from Team Gigantti, including Zuppe and Lilbo, into a position where they would both be caught in the graviton of Only God. They were thinking 5 steps ahead, and that's what really helped them to bring that fight home.
I think both teams, especially if you look at Numbani as well, that we just saw, the support ult staggering has just been so good. There's a very reactionary play from both Lucios and Zenyatta's in order to keep the healing flowing, especially with the sound barriers too. We are seeing either Luddy, obviously, or Littlebo, they lay out theirs, and then a couple of seconds later, Luddy or Littlebo will lay out their sound barrier too to get that slight, minuscule advantage of overshield. Same with the Zenyatta's as well. If you can let the enemy Zen Transcendence first, and then a couple of seconds later, Transcendence second, you're going to have a healing advantage rounding out the fight.
Yeah, you are definitely going to have that healing advantage. Though in the macro play of Ultimate Economy, it does allow the others in Yard to have more time building up towards that next one. So you've still got to try and stagger out whether you want to have the premium in healing in that particular fight or have a premium in Transcendence generation over the course of the entire match. But usually, if you use that Transcendence second, you are going to be in a position to maybe pick off one person, then you can leverage that to get more Transcendence charge. So it isn't always as black and white as that, but you're definitely right that you are going to be trying to use the Transcendence second. So Zuppe and A-Fox need to be on point with that. Urkel's in the back, trying for a little bit of a flank. We'll get the bash onto Milky Man.
All right, nice bash, but Davin did save the shield, so when he was exposed, He didn't receive a whole bunch of damage, but Luddy definitely did. Actually, so did Facility. There's a almost a 2-for-1 trade there as Los just goes extremely low. Same with OnlyGod. Lack of healing now for Team Gigantti. Luddy's obviously going to be able to skate back rather fast.
They aren't going to have that repair pack either, which is one of the main sources of burst healing in this combination. Down there, not really getting much use out of his projected barrier. I would have preferred me to keep that, especially at the high energy, which he's currently showing. Luddy, you can see there, skating along, has returned to his team, but Avox is down, and this means Milky Man, he's going to have all the freedom in the world. No Discord or meanwhile, Losish.
Every single fight, Zappe manages to kill Avox. That's at least 3 times he's done it this series already. Gigantti just storming their way onto the point. Maybe able to clean sweep this one fairly easily. That's a one-push wonder.
And I know it's been a while since we've been able to see some Overwatch League. It's been a long off-season. This is one of the things that made NYXL so much of a fearsome force. They had Jonak ready to just frag out like any other DPS while he was playing Vision and could get these opening picks, these opening frags that give you those advantages. Because, well, whenever you take away one of the members of the 3-3, it's not like a pick in any other comp where you can try and 5v6 it back. Every single person of the 3-3 is integral to how the composition works. You lose the Discord Orb, you lose the Speed Boost, you lose the Shield Bash, your composition is neutered.
Angry Titans ult bank looking pretty juicy. Same with Giganttis, almost sitting on 6 ults, a little bit further behind, only 20% away from his. Luddy, little bit, well, even further behind, so actually 30% away. Team Gigantti taking the high ground though, activating that rally as well. Now they're going to move on to the point. A very reactionary rally coming out. Davin throws his grab in, gets eaten all up. Not quite so lucky. Were 18 in that one. Nice self-destruct onto Littlebow. Remember, with Angry Titans on the defense, Gigantti probably won't choose to actually continue the assault with Littlebow going down with the... Okay, self-destruct in, I could be wrong. Zappis actually finds 2. I eat my own words, but a Transcendence still from Angry Titans to make sure they can survive from the retreat.
Littlebow's back and he's speeding everyone forward. OnlyGod doesn't have much health left. Going for the mega health pack right now, and Milky Man's controlling all of this territory. OnlyGod needs to join up with his team.
He's completely isolated on the side. He had to go for something. OnlyGod right-clicks himself to death, and actually a beat on the point for Team Gigantti, lands on 4 people. Zappis wasn't quite so lucky, and in fact, Avox now fragging out. He's seen Zappe, he knows what's good. He manages to take out 2 people, and Angry Titans, they're still going to be able to hold, but look how much of an expensive fight that was for both teams.
Yeah, should have been a winning hand the second that they managed to take out Littlebow with that self-destruct. And instead of a winning hand, they went all in, and they only just managed to break even on that fight. They did give up a tick as well, so that's more progress that Angry Titans have now towards that full completion. We've got about 1 minute and 30 in the time bank surplus over what Angry Titans were exhibiting before, but Angry Titans here do have the Graviton Surge almost, and that self-destruct, which could be a very potent combo. Gigantti's getting there incredibly quickly as well.
Both rallies, in fact, rallies every single fight at the moment. Very easy for Brigade to get that. Just swinging on away. Milky Man doing the same thing though. There's the Shadow on top of the grab to try and stop the damage coming in. Elivo sends the mech in, another mech for Zappis too. Both absorbed in the shield, and in fact a 1-for-1 trade. Each side, Luddy and Zappis are going to fall, and now is Team Gigantti trying to take control. Angry Titans do not have the speed boost available to them. Gigantti now planting themselves on the point and found another tick, and in fact 80%. Losich ends up going down as Zappe finds 2 people. 4 minutes now left in the time bank. Team Gigantti can keep rolling them on. Angry Titans step off the point for a brief moment and let it go.
And that was some great Graviton usage there from Davin to try and protect his team. He knew that in order for this combination of the Graviton Surge and the Self-Destructor bear fruit for Angry Titans, they need to have Losish do a long charge onto Milky Man and remove that shield so that they couldn't be protected from the blast. But instead, you are now locked down when you are in the Graviton Surge. That was a couple of patches ago, probably about a year ago, that you could no longer charge out of a Graviton Surge. So Davin laid that down. He made sure that he could hit Losish on the shield, guaranteeing failing like an eat from Elivote that the Reinhardt would not be able to charge through and doom them all to the fate of the self-destruct. So that was some great heads-up play. That was a defensive Graviton, and often we talk about how Gravitons can be used to set up these great big combinations like Angry Titans are trying to do that, but sometimes a defensive Graviton can be just as effective, especially if you want to prolong a fight, especially if Angry Titans have already invested both of their support ultimates. You can then have the counter-attack, as Littlebow, he had his Transcendence active while that Graviton was going on. It meant that everyone on the side of Team Gigantti was getting enough healing, whereas Angry Titans, they'd already invested their Transcendence to try and aggress onto Milky Man. And they say Chivalry's dead, Jules. Have they seen us?
Angry Titans. Nice. Nice. Angry Titans looking pretty dead. Although 50 seconds difference, that is all. They're going to run out with the McCree again, so they are expecting Facility on the Doomfist. Of course, we know that. Oh, Davin. You've got to be very careful, especially if you know you're running into the Cowboy. Now, Flashbang will end your life rather fast.
Yeah, he wants to be a little bit more careful, but he also wants to be building up the CMP a little bit faster. It was rather slow last time, building it less quickly. Zappis caught out already.
Ow. Angry Titans did exactly the same thing they did in round number 1. They speed boost to the right-hand side, and then instantly, as soon as they can hear Gigantti using movement cooldowns, they zip to the left and catch out Zappis without those thrusters.
Yeah, without the thrusters there, you are pretty much a sitting duck. No matter how much healing Zappis can pump into you, might even have to invest a biotic grenade to try and keep you alive. But now Angry Titans, they're just going to claim positioning on the point, put Only God in a safe position, and allow Team Gigantti to come to them, forcing the engagement, forcing those movement cooldowns that you talked about.
Facility has to go in with the tanks here as well. He doesn't want to end up like he did last round with a flashbang to his noggin. Ooh, that was very close. Does manage to find the punch into the mech, and actually Davin's going to go down, so he tried to potentially try and wrap around. No EMP, not yet anyway, only 55%. Angry Titans are making sure Gigantti are punished for every step they take. Facility finds 2 as Only God activates the Deadeye and finds Zappis as he was out of mech. Facility jumps in and Only God finds 1, but that nano boost coming online might be critical. They have no support almost to deal with him. Milky Man finds a Fox, and Urki actually got put to sleep mid-rally.
Good 5-ball charge shot there from Lilbo to finish off Urki while they had all of that armor afflicted to them. Let's have a look. Can Lodi escape? Don't want to go too... Oh my gosh, you're investing for Primal Rage, you absolute mad milk.
I don't know about that one, Milky Man. Oh, yeah, even he knows it now.
He's mad.
Yeah, he is pretty
You could say he's staying angry.
He's got to be pretty angry at that. Oh, in space.
Oh, overshooting.
Oh, can you imagine if that was a death zone there? It just like drops off the edge. That would have been pretty
just scouting out Lolsa.
Only a minute now remaining, Harry. 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the time back for Team Gigantti. But 2 ticks have been acquired by AT. They've got the Transcendence, and they have that sound barrier coming up soon too.
It's going to be incredibly dangerous to engage here, though. The EMP could easily be combined with that Meteor Strike. You're going to see Davin finding a place to try and make the engagement here. For now, he's just going to scout out. He's going to send back the information to his team as to where they want to engage, where they want to put the EMP.
There's the EMP straight on top of everybody. And the Transcendence actually coming through from Team Gigantti. Angry Titans are going to answer with their own, but Only God's already taken out Davin. That is a loss of damage coming through. Got to be a little bit more careful. Facility straight on top of Brig. I don't know about that one. Manages to get out alive with that overshield you get for hitting your abilities. Urki finds the kill onto Zappis, and now Angry Titans are taking control. Facility on the point, just delaying for as much as he can. A minute now remains for AT to cap second.
Potentially would have liked to have seen a combination of abilities there from Davin and Facility, but instead they went for the sort of vanilla Doomfist into the EMP. It wasn't quite as good as you would like. There is a High Noon or Deadeye coming out from Only God. It's going to be an attempt to hide, and great defense matrix from Zappis.
Yeah, good shield as well coming through from Davin to save him. Only God finds the head of Little Bo, takes it clean off, and Zappis going to go down as well. 2 healers dead for Team Gigantti. Spells almost doom for them as a barrier comes out from Angry Titans as well. A bomb onto the point isn't going to find much, and Zappis actually gets taken out as well as he jumps into the Baby Diva form. There will be 1 tick being acquired now. Gigantti need to be able to recontest and regroup together. There's nothing really stopping Angry Titans now, just picking them off 1 by 1. Only got left completely untouched as well. That 1 minute time bank will end up 4 points for Angry Titans.
Wasn't even in overtime as well, so that means Angry Titans now need to complete and then go to a 3rd round if they want to win this one out. 10 seconds stood between potentially having to only get 33% of a 5th point if they complete here, and just having to go through it all again, because if we do go to a 3rd playthrough of Horizon Lunar Colony, both of our teams will of course at least have a cursory minute, because you're not going to be able to attack with 10 seconds, Jules. But we'll have to see what Team Gigantti have in store for Angry Titans. It does like Angry Titans. I'm going to be trying out anything kind of quirky on the defense. Just going to be this the 3-3 that we've come to expect. But Only God there, like you said, no one was touching him. He managed to get himself in a great position. And not only that, because he engaged using the Deadeye, he also forced Team Gigantti to invest movement cooldowns in order to get away from his zone of influence. When you invest those movement cooldowns to get away from a Deadeye, you don't have the movement cooldowns to go towards the guy who's casting the Deadeye. So potentially could have been a bit more aggressive there for Zappis and Zuppe, but would have been a very risky game to try and play.
And on that high ground position as well, then you're then giving away so much. You actually step off the point completely, and then Angry Titans were just able to walk on, free of charge almost, free of poke damage as well, because that Deadeye is just going to end your life so fast.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the Nano Zappis try and go after McCree, especially since you weren't seeing the opportunity for Zarya bubbles that you do give up when you move over towards a DPS and keep the Diva, but looks like it's just going to be the straight 3-3 versus 3-3. Historically, over the course of this series, it has been in favor of Team Gigantti when they've clashed on both Numbani and Lijiang Tower, but for now, a little bit of caution on the side of Team Gigantti. They're scouting out the position of Angry Titans, who are holding up close. They want an early engagement, and that's a meaty fire strike coming through from Lawless, already halfway of his way towards that Earth Shadow.
That feels good if you're a Ryan player, hitting at least 3 or 4 people with one of those. A lot of healing, though, coming through on Team Gigantti. Runet the supports a lot of ult charge. You can see Zappe landing a couple of orbs as well. He's already up to 70% on his first Transcendence.
Indeed he is. Elivote falling low, but of course that is going to give a lot of ultimate charge to his supports. Milky Man sort of venturing out on his own here, trying to claim this kind of pillar or board or whatever you'd call it as cover, which himself, Davin, and the rest of the tank line are going to rotate around, as will Lolsish, playing a little bit of a kind of dance. Here you can see Lolsish trying to cleanse that Discord orb.
First ult online will be Lolsish's Earth Shadow. No problem, although barrier about 158 HP. He's going to have to recharge that and be a little bit more careful. Davin actually earned himself a grab in that too. Just so much pressure on Lolsish's shield from the supports and from the tanks does mean he has to play a little bit more cautious. Davin throws his ultimate in. He's going to be the only one caught up, and actually a Shadow on the back line's only actually going to hit Zappis. Wasted Shadow potentially, but only got throws his own grab in. 2 people caught in as Milky Man dives forward to try and at least protect the rest of his team. There will be a beat on top and just after the Transcendence to supplement the rest of the healing and those overshields. And now Milky Man finally earning his own Shatter as well.
It's an all-out brawl and everything's being invested. Milky Man can try and end this. There's for Shadow, there's for self-destruct, and Davin's down.
1 dead for Gigantti. They still have priority spawns. Make that 2 as Zuppe goes down as well. Angry Titans are going to be able to hold for now as Milky Man gets jumped on, and you can see Only God already earning himself a second grab.
I'm not sure if Milky Man was trying to actually shatter the self-destructing mech itself, because of course if you do shatter a moving self-destruct mech and it's caught in the cone of effect, it does stop right there, because the stun can apply to the momentum of inanimate objects, as it were. But in the end, he only managed to get 1, and Davin fell because he didn't have the shielding available to save himself. And there, that meant Elivote was the hero of that defense, really took away a lot of the offensive power that Team Gigantti had. Now Only God can potentially strike early with his own Graviton if Zappis doesn't catch it.
Oh no, the Graviton Surge actually catches Milky Man.
Don't walk forward into it.
I was going to say, are you pressing W right now? You should be pressing S. The rest of Gigantti are definitely pressing S as they do scurry back to their spawn. They cannot waste a single second here. They've only got a minute remaining, well, potentially as they regroup up. They have got 2 ults online, yes. Davin actually nearing his and Facility nearing his, so 4 as they do enter this next stage. But with 1 minute remaining, Angry Titans, they got 2 support ultimates in their own and even a Shadow from Lolsich.
Like you said, a lot of tools in the box, but a lot of resilience and a lot of people on the floor as well. Lolsich takes down 2. Facility's already dead.
Facility was around the corner, couldn't receive the Transcendence. Healing coming through from Zuppe. And Gigantti once more, losing a member, retreating to make sure they can go again as 6.
If they can, Lolsich being the only one to invest an ultimate there. Urki is going to be building up towards that rally once again. Afox going to be feeling rather resilient with that armor coming in under his own. And Team Gigantti, what was once such a glorious time bank, is now whittled away to only 35 seconds. They've got some ults to try and make it work, but the aggression of Angry Titans once again catches them out and catches Davin.
They've got 30 seconds remaining and Davin died with the grab. A Transcendence from Angry Titans after that beat. They're going to kill off Milky Man and force Gigantti right up to their spawn. They can play as aggressive as they like right now as they have the zoning ultimates available. They've got the self-destruct and the Shatter, plus the Graviton Surge coming up for the next fight.
When in the Contenders finals, will you see a team 2-0 down go off and spawn camp? Team Gigantti, these Overwatch League legends, Lolsich under pressure. It's going to be an attempt to touch from Davin.
He manages to touch, but 2 Graviton Surges and a self-destruct, and he is right on top. He finds 2. Milky Man and Davin are going to go down. Zapp is still contesting the point as Zuppe uses the Transcendence, but it's too little, too late for Team Gigantti. Zappis is going to fall. Angry Titans are going to find their first map in the series.
Little there dying with the Samba in the dying seconds, evidently saving that one for Escort, which will be the first map choice now of Team Gigantti. But Angry Titans, they are not going to get swept here. They found their groove. They've had a talk to Opti. They checked another document and it said, don't tilt, kill them.
Kill
and
them.
they did.
Milky Man, don't press W sometimes,
play
press
McCree.
S sometimes. Or play McCree. We did say at the start of the game that this was going to be a map that we could see a small changes, and Only God proving just that. We weren't seeing too much Ashe, in fact, only 1 pick of Ashe, but the McCree just popped off at the very end.
And it did, and I'd love to see if that will continue to be a theme, trying to bring out these other compositions to try and maybe flummox Gigantti, who thus far have seemed a little bit dominant in the 3-3 sort of fights, but at the end of that, looked a little bit of pretty strong themselves.
History won't repeat itself just yet. Gigantti can't get the clean sweep. We're going to jump to a break. Map number 4 coming very soon.